Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be.
Y'all want a little bit of fire? I think there's going to be a little bit of fire today, a little bit of smoke going on. We got a hot one for you today. Let me introduce you, my first guest. It's Mr. Lions Rumble coming back from vacation. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Mike, man? Thank you for having me as always, man.
Hey, I love having you on. And we got a guy who's about to break this channel real quick. He's a legend on these parts. You haven't been on a long time. You already know who it is. Luke G from Luke G's Field Review. What's going on, man?
Hey, salute, man. Mike, where's the energy? I wanted the ranting Mike energy. You got to do that over. You got to come back in with the ranting Mike energy where you about to go off about the Malcolm Rodriguez thing. You know, I need that Mike.
We got the Super Bowl linebacker, quarterback, head coach, Malcolm Rodriguez here soon. And hey, he's already got his jacket on, ready for the Hall of Fame. We appreciate him, putting his praise upon us because with his blessing, we can live, and that is the great one.
Fun fact, Mike, did you know that he's the first Detroit Lion player that we have ever drafted to ever win a World Series, a NBA title, and the Stanley Cup? All before he ever took a football snap. This is all.
Did you know when Malcolm Rodriguez was born, there was 3 wise coaches that came to his birth, and there was a star
right.
on him.
I mean, it was something to that regard, man. But I'm happy to be here, man. It was good.
Hey, we about to have some fun here. We got 17 in the building. Let's get 17 likes. What's up, Chrome? What's up, Devin Davis, Patty Grimes, John Bell, Laurel Lewis. We got Riley Elder, Big D73, and Corey Batten. Put hashtag FGB. You know what the F stands for. F to the Green Bay Packers. Put FGB in the comment section. Show your hate towards that team. So the Detroit Lions offense is getting some love in the mainstream media. Went up 14 points, or 14 spots regarding its offensive weapons this year and compared to last year. Luke, do you think that's something good, or do you think it's just a little smoke?
It's just smoke. At this point, you can't take anything that's being put out there by the media serious. And we're too close to real action, and I think it's fanfare. I think it's just something to give us to talk about, but we can't put too much stock into it. I mean, is it good to have people start to recognize us and talk about us in a positive light? Yeah. I mean, I got tired of watching commercials of Madden and other people highlights, and the Lions players are always in it. Hell, I think you even got a picture of somebody getting tossed to the oblivion. So I mean, it's good to have, but we can't get too invested in that and act as if though it's a lot of stock to be taken from it. It's good, but it's nothing to write home about.
So you're saying if the media says it, it's not always true, right?
No, yeah, clearly.
Well, hey,
clearly.
I think we are trending in the right direction, but again, when the media does something, does it really affect us? No. Lions Rumble, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you guys. I think I'm all for the positivity, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah, we do have a decent O-line, but we also have a quarterback who last year I believe was playing like a rookie, dare I say. So we got a lot of new tools on this offense. So we got a lot of new tools on this offense. So we have to see what he can do, what he can put together with these toys he got this year.
What do you think? A rookie? That's not fair.
Yeah,
I've seen rookies play better. I've seen rookies play better.
What do you think Jared Goff's going to do with these weapons? We do got a lot of weapons. To me, there's not really much excuse this year, but do you think he can put up some decent numbers? Mr. G?
Albeit, that's for Luke. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Albeit injuries. I don't think I'm fully confident in putting a team on Jared Goff's arm or back just yet. I believe I have to see a couple of statement games where he does do that, and maybe QB sneaks for a 2-yard gain or on the goal line, some along that nature. That'll let me know then that he's completely bought in and that he's accepted the role of being a leader.
Hey, I got my real friend in here, Raw Detroit. I've known this guy for a long time, man. He says, what up, though, Luke, Lions Rumble, and MicroMike. Make sure you subscribe to my guy there, TA Raw Detroit. He's dropping some sick content. I love the prospects. It's all about prospects, man, and that's what he does. He works real hard, so make sure you check that out. Look, I like the weapons that we got. I absolutely like it. And it's much better than last year. Last year was cheeks. Brashard Perryman, Tyrell Broken Williams. There's nothing there to work with. And now you got better wide receivers. I think that Swift is in a little better shape. With this offensive line, he should get an opportunity to, make some noise. He should be the focal point in the running game. He should be on the field and stay on the field to make those big plays, play action as well. And I think Jared Goff should have an opportunity to do well. Not saying he's going to do well. I'm saying he has the opportunity to do well. I hope he does. What is your expectations, Luke, for Jared Goff? What do you think he's going to do this year?
I think one, when I hear this thing about weapons, I ask myself, who are these weapons? What are these weapons? I mean, one of the guys is not going to play until the end of October, early November. And you took him 12th overall, so we can wait to see what that's going to be, if it's going to be a weapon or not. The other guy was hurt last year, who came from Jacksonville, DJ. And you brought back Reynolds, great. You still got Amon-Ra, great. Still got TJ, great. You pretty much have the same thing with the addition of 2 people and getting back your line healthy. This should not be a Jared Goff show. It shouldn't. The reason they went to the Super Bowl the year they went, because it was the Todd Gurley show. And in my opinion, if we are going to compete and succeed, we need to make this the DeAndre Swift show where he's the featured back, and then you rotate in Jamal Williams to give some relief and let Goff do what Tannehill do. Just throw the ball as little as possible and don't hurt us. But if we get into games where you're asking him to do what we was asking Stafford to do, which is carry the team, throw the ball 40 times on average, I don't care what his weapons is. It's not going to amount to anything because the coaches need to put him in a position to succeed. And if they are going to learn from history say that we must minimize his risk by exploiting the run. And to me, anything outside of that is going to equal some BS. That's just the way it is. I don't buy into the belief that this is a Jared Goff show. Jared Goff should be the least of your worries because Jared Goff should be only throwing the ball between 20 and 21 times. That's just how
much
do
you want to see Swift in a game? How many touches do you want to see him have?
25 to 28 touches a game.
Do you think that's sustainable with his injury history? Do you think he'll be able to do that?
I mean, the thing of it is this. If you look at 2 things. 1, I think Swift don't want to be here no more. That's 1. But 2, even if it's not sustainable, get what you can get out of him worth-wise. Because guess what? You want to throw the ball at the backfield to him? You can. You want to run the ball with him? You can. He is your best option. And to me, 25 carries, I think is sustainable for him. I think the problem is he's getting hurt. Or let me rephrase that. I think Deuce Staley, in a way, let us in on a little bit of a secret when he said he got to know the difference between being hurt and injured.
Yes.
That tells me that he's not really hurt. He's protecting himself, which makes me believe he doesn't want to be here. But if you're giving him the ball and he see that he's the guy, yes, he can do that and be sustainable in it. But it's worse when you have a guy that's coming in and spot plays. They often do get hurt. That's what the history say. And to me, you can give him the ball 25 times and make it work. I mean, hell, you already splitting it 14 carries between him and Jamal Williams. Let him get 24 and get Jamal Williams the rest. Whatever you do, he need to be the feature guy versus being a equal partner to Jamal Williams.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with feeding DeAndre Swift the football. I think that always spells success when you could run the football. It's about the fourth quarter, in my opinion, Rumble. It's about beating a team down. When you look, he cited Tannehill in the Titans. When they run the football in the fourth quarter, they're done. They don't want to go up against that anymore. I'm not saying Swift is anything like the running the game over there, but it's a philosophy of being a physical football team, a pounding football team that's really important to win in the end of the games and win in the cold part. Do you think that this is something that they will do? Do you think Swift can sustain this? I truly hope he can, Rumble.
Yeah, I'm with you both. I mean, that's who our running backs coach is, right? Deuce Staley, man. Deuce was a handful to bring down. The guy was solid all 4 quarters. And I think that's what he's trying to implement with this run game. I mean, this O-line has been slated to be, one of the top ones in the league this year. So albeit, injury and whatever scheme they decide to run, I do think, Swift coming into camp looking shredded. I do think he kind of took it a little bit more seriously this year. And you know how it is. When you get constructive criticism, it's either going to make or break you. So I think Swift is ready to kind of take that next step. And I just hope he remains healthy, man. Because if so, then, whew, man.
I like Craig Reynolds, too, is the change of pace back. I really like what he brings to the team. He's a patient running back, and he's an all-around guy. I like that. I like that quality in him. And with the Lions offensive line, I mean, we have a lot of talent on this offensive line. Again, if they can stay healthy, i.e. Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, I think that's more of a one-year thing, but I think they got a really good offensive line. I love Evan Brown as a backup to come in there if there is an injury. Absolutely, I think he is probably the most underrated player on this football team. I think if you have that offensive line, you can run the football, and that's going to open up the play action. It's going to open up the deep threats that can occur. Now, we switched to Madden a little bit because the ratings came out, and it had Amon-Ra St. Brown was a 78, ranked 60 of wide receivers. Do you think that's justified, Rumble?
Absolutely not. There's no way. You mean to tell me there's oh my gosh. You mean to tell me there's that many more people ahead of him, especially with the season he had last year. He started late, came on strong, became, Jared Goff's go-to guy in some of those games and actually won a game for us. And that's huge for a rookie, man. Just, becoming your veteran quarterback's number one option. So I don't think it's fair. They need to show us some love, man.
I don't play Madden, Luke. I don't know if you do. I'm not a Madden guy, but I just seen him ranked 60 as a wide receiver. I can't buy that. I think he's better than that. To me, that would make him what? The number 2 on the second worst team in the NFL? I can't buy that, Luke.
I buy it, and I don't even care about the rating system. The reality is he was underutilized last year. And when you look at the grand scheme of things, if he was utilized the way that he was supposed to be utilized last year, he'll be getting the hype and respect that he was supposed to get. But he wasn't. And when he was getting open, the quarterback couldn't find the broad side of the Empire State Building. So it didn't matter. So anytime you see these things happening where they have us rated low, it's a reflection of what we did last year. And so at that point, nobody should believe in us, and the Lions should be feeding off of that. They should be taking that to the field. Oh, y'all don't want to believe in us, but we'll make you believe. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, make him 107. I don't care. It's his job to go and prove it. It's the coach's job to put him in a position to do it, and the quarterback job to get him the ball. And these are things that did not happen last year until it was later. Now, granted, we know what he did. He did something that Calvin Johnson didn't do his rookie year, and that's great. That's beautiful. All of that is sweet, right? But you did that on a team where we were down to nobody at receiver. We did that on the team that had no run game. You did that on a team who defense was guaranteed to give you opportunities because they couldn't keep nobody out. And as far as I'm concerned, if he or anybody else don't like they rating on Madden from the Lions, do something about it to change it. I don't want to hear it's unfair or 60 receivers too much. Damn, that change the narrative. Do something. And to me, that makes it better.
You know what, right now, the rating that we have on this channel is 49. That's 49 people in the building. Let's get that rating up, at least from a like standpoint, to at least 49 likes. Smash that like button. Also, make sure you go ahead and follow Lions Rumble on Twitter. He's big on there. Lions Rumble 81. Follow him on there. And Luke G from Luke G's Field Review. He's got a YouTube channel, Luke G's Field Review. And a Twitter, it's at Field G. So go ahead and follow these guys. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We talk all things Detroit Lions, and we have fun doing so. Talk about Madden ratings. What is Dan Campbell's Madden rating if he had one, Luke?
To be honest with you, at this point, based on the body of work, it would have to be 59. If you can't
69?
give him a high rating. Well, we can't do 69. I mean, he got a little strange in him, but 59, I'm gonna give him the lowest because I think he still has to prove himself. I think that he's definitely changed the culture. I know that this is shocking to people that culture got changed in 1 year. I know everybody believes it takes 3 years, but I think at this point he has to prove himself. And if he has to prove himself, it needs to show in reflection of wins. This, it's a lot of industries where it's result based. And if you think about the title coaching is not really a title. It's actually an attribute to describe something. It's more than just a title. That means you are actually doing something. That it describes what your job is. And so to me, it's a 59 for me until he can show something different. Now keep in mind, I'm on the boat. And I know I'm in the minority on this, not just as an African-American myself, but literally the minority on this. If they win less than 6 games, like if they win 3 games again, he should be fired.
Man, if
and
they
I stand
win
by
3
that.
games again, look, man.
He should be fired. He should be fired.
I'm not gonna eat meat for a year because I no longer will eat meat because it's cannibal. You can't win 3 games. You got to win more than that.
That's what I'm saying. If he win like 3 or 4 games, he should be fired. Because at that point, the rah-rah is great, but the results are not there behind it. No one cares. It's just like Jason Garrett with the Cowboys. They had all that talent for all them years and can never really do anything past a playoff berth. And when they had a chance to do something, the head coach still didn't do what he needed to do to protect them. So again, to me, I might be in the minority on this, but I'm expecting at the minimum 8 wins, and if he do anything less than 6, he should be fired.
He says he needs to go, man. He's gonna straight fire him. What's your Madden rating, Lions Rumble, for Dan Campbell? I want to see this one.
I'll give him a 60 because he's got a weird fetish. Kneecaps, the whole thing with the kneecaps and the Starbucks coffee with the triple shots and the chew in the mouth. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of agreeing with Luke, man. The culture change, you got to do more than that. I mean, again, it's not like it was Patricia who inherited a 9-win team. This guy inherited, I don't know what the hell he inherited with Patricia having these players put on weight and yeah, I don't know, but kudos to him for just having the right guys in these coaching, in these positional coaches, former players like himself. So I got to give him a little credit. So I'm kind of right there though. I give him a 60. I'll give him a 60.
Let me know in the comment section, what rating would you give for our head coach, Dan Campbell? Just put in a number there. You could put 1, you can put 100. If you think he's great, well, I mean, you do 100 right there. Now we're going to go to a Madden rating for Matt Patricia. Luke G, give your Madden rating for him.
You got to make him a creative player. He don't even get to be on the game. I feel like the game should glitch for even trying to create him. If you try to create him, if you even put the word put in there, the game should glitch out and reject you at all costs. I don't even think it's possible
Game
for him to.
can't help
It's
his
no reason. There's no reason, man. It would be an absolute dumpster fire for this guy to you. You want to know what his rating is? 0, because he's out of gas and he's not himself when he's hungry. Okay, it's terrible. Even when he was on the game, I would fire him. I'm not joking. When I haven't played Madden in a long time, but when he was on the game, I fired him in the first, like before I even did anything in my season. I fired his ass because that's how irritating it was. So I don't think he should even be mentioned in terms of a rating.
Yeah, I had to put that in there. We got to get some gigglies going on. Anytime you hear about Pat
hilarious.
Patricia, you're going to have to get some gigglies going on there. It's all about having fun there for sure. Look, Matt Patricia, we got to face this guy. He may be the offensive coordinator, too, when we face him. So, Aaron, isn't that weird, man? Aaron Glenn versus Matt Patricia. What the hell? Who would expect that one? So, that definitely could be taking place here soon. Now, it looks like Lions rumble that the Detroit Lions are prioritizing giving a contract extension to our tight end, TJ Hutchinson. Do you think this is a good idea to do this right now? If so, what is your amount that you would give to him, and what type of contract, what type of year?
Ooh, man, it's that one's tough for me because I obviously want to see him play this year, but I think they're doing it because of maybe they feel like it'll make him think about the season as opposed to thinking about the contract. And I would have to the number. Man, he would have to take a hometown discount, man. 1 Pro Bowl season, and I think that was by default, maybe. But I haven't really. He doesn't really. He's not really a threat in the red zone. He's not really a threat as far as the packages we've been running, and he's not really feared. He doesn't give me those Gronkowski vibes, so to speak. I mean, last year, he played some games, and yet Amon-Ra St. Brown, when it came down to it, that was the guy we looked for in the red zone. So, yeah, I'm kind of up in the air as far as the number, but I believe he should give us a hometown discount until his play improves, or at least make it incentives. If he's top 10 in this, we give him XYZ, or a Pro Bowl, we give him XYZ. But I'm kind of on the fence about him.
I'm with you. I'm kind of on the fence about it. Look, I love the draft pick. I thought he was the right player for that spot. But I want to see one more year because he's going to get a big contract. He's going to get top 5. We all know it. We've seen these contracts as of late. I mean, go start with the wide receivers. Oh, thank you there, Kirk over there, Jacksonville Jaguars, and blowing that up. And then we've seen what just happened today with Kyler Murray and these contracts. You know TJ Hutchinson's going to get a giant one. And
my bad, fellas. My son yelled potty. I'm in potty training mode, people. If you have kids who you are potty training, just keep up the good fight. You win some, you lose some. Luckily, I won this one.
Well, thankfully he's potty training. The kid had to take a mat, and it had to wipe a Patricia. So I think that's always a good thing there. No doubt
This is
about
true.
it. Luke, would you pay TJ Hutchinson right now before the season starts?
You have to pay him. And the reality is the last time okay, son. Oh, you just don't care about live radio. I see right now. You just don't. Sorry about that. No, I mean, you have to pay him. And if you look at it, no matter what you want to say about it, we can't sit there and act as if though we can't pay him. We can't talk about how bad Jared Goff is and then act like, oh, we can't pay him. And if the argument is, well, he had Stafford and he wasn't good. Well, that's still not true because he had a terrible head coach. The situation needs to provide opportunity. Patricia didn't throw the ball to the tight ends as much, which is odd, coming from where he came from. And then you move it up to now. If you don't like Jared Goff, you really can't gauge him. But TJ Hutchinson is still a stellar tight end in this league. And TJ Hutchinson gives you more value. Just look at how many tight ends we brought in before TJ Hutchinson that couldn't even do half of what he's doing, who couldn't even garner the respect of the defense. And we tried a lot of people. Hell, we're trying to find a backup to him. They went and brought out freaking Devin Funchess. When's the last time you heard that name? So I'm just saying, to me, you have to pay him. You have to pay him, and you have to give him a shot, and you have to keep him here because every time we say don't pay somebody, they go on and perform. Well, unless you were Kenny Galladay, which we called that when they said let him walk, because once Stafford left, you knew it was going to be some differences. But that's not the point. TJ Hockenson should be paid. And in terms of the money that it takes, well, whatever it's going to take to keep him, I'm not telling you to break the bank for him, but give him a fair value contract and let him be here.
Now, TA Raw Detroit brought up a really good point. This is something that we talked about actually behind the scenes is we don't utilize his skill set as much. What can be done, Luke, to maximize TJ Hockenson on the field?
One of the things is when he came in, he was known as being a complete tight end, somebody that run block, somebody that catch, who can route run. I've seen the route running, I've seen the catching, I've seen drops. Everybody have drops, I've seen it, but the run blocking hasn't been there, and I think it's because we're so inconsistent at running the ball that it's not even funny. And to me, one of the things that you can do to utilize him more is make his job more consistent. When George Kittle is out there, his job is very consistent. Travis Kelce's job is very consistent. There's not this weird sporadic stuff that they do where he's out of the game or he's in as a decoy out wide. They don't do all this stuff. They find ways to make him at least the second option. With those tight ends, make TJ Hockenson your second option. Give him opportunities to be in the game with a point of emphasis for impact. Sometimes I've seen where TJ Hockenson was the third read. I'm like, this is ludicrous. Why are we doing this? And to me, you do all this by just simply getting him back to his roots. Run the ball. And then when they think they're going to come up for the run, let him run routes. Isn't this what they do on the 49ers that everybody loves Shanahan for? They run the ball down your throat. They did it even after they guy got hurt. I watched it in real time. I watched Mitchell run all over us. And then they went to the tight end. And they do the same thing on Kansas City. And so to me, if you want to get them more involved, you need to do things like run the ball so that they can respect that part of the game so he can run the routes and get catches.
Lions Rumble, what do you think about this? Like, utilizing the best we can out of TJ Hockenson. He is a talent. There's no doubt about it. How can we maximize that talent this year?
Yeah, the hiring of Ben Johnson, who, again, was a former tight ends coach. I think this is perfect for TJ this year. I think we will see more of him. I think he will be a star of some of those games this year, simply because of Ben Johnson and TJ's confidence. And to take Luke's point, we do need to run the ball more. And we do need to mix it up. And like he said, you have to predicate, this young tight end, especially in red zone. There's no reason why he's not your number one in the red zone. No reason. I don't care if he could be double teamed. There's no reason why he's not your number one in the red zone. Allow him to make plays, man. That's what this guy's there for. He's from Iowa. He's from Tight End University. So allow him to showcase his tools and his talents.
He eats potatoes, man.
Plus, Mike, I think if you take it one step further, if TJ Hockenson was on, say, I don't know, Green Bay, do you think people would be talking about some don't re-sign him? Do you think we would be having the same problems? No. If he was on the freaking Vikings, he would get utilized. We're the only team that's having a trouble. And again, it's because we haven't been in this space for so long where we've had opportunity to hit different weapons on every level on the offense. But I'll be damned if you don't figure it out at this point. And you have to do something that's going to line up with him getting opportunities, because if he was anywhere else, he would be performing. And before somebody give me that, oh, we're not doing that argument, remember, a lot of people didn't want Stafford here, and all he did was went to a Super Bowl. And then everybody who wanted to have a convenient excuse for why he succeeded wanted to say he had a super team, like he just had this amazing team. The Buccaneers were the super team of the NFC and of the NFL, and nobody talks about that. But all of a sudden now, Stafford wins Super Bowl, super team. So I'm just saying, you have to sign him. You have to ask yourself, what are other teams doing or would do to get him involved and do the same thing?
Folks, it is about your time to shine. It is the mailbag segment where you ask us any question you want to ask us, and we'll go ahead and answer. If you want to ask me personally, Rumble personally, and Mr. Luke G personally, go ahead and do so. But before we do that, remember, make sure it's #Lions, and also put in one word for Matt Patricia. What you think of him with one word. Any word you can do that. Spam the comment section. Let's have some fun. Look, you know why I like doing this? Because I like to hear what people come up with. I want to hear the questions that these guys say. Because, look, we sit here, we talk all the day, Rumble. We talk all the time. We talk Detroit Lions, but we're just three guys, you know? So we want to hear from you guys and as a chance to give us your thoughts, your questions, and have us roll. We know, man, Luke, you know they come up with some crazy ones.
I mean, listen, I usually get crazy ones, or I usually get insults. You know, where it's like, Luke, you've lost your damn mind. You want to do what? And I'm like, I stand by it. You know. It's like that. It's like that clip in American Gangster with Denzel when he's like, blue magic. I stand by it. I stand by what I say.
Hey,
you know,
I'll take that Denzel, man. That blue magic. He don't play.
Yeah, that blue magic, man. It's a brand name.
Yeah, he's gonna shoot you. There's no doubt about it. What is my Madden rating? My wife would say 69. I think that is the Madden rating she would give to me. We'll just go right there. Luke G, why do you say Swift wants to leave Detroit?
When I was listening to what Deuce was saying, when Deuce said that he need to know the difference and know, between being hurt and being injured, I went, why would he need to describe that to a football player? Like, I played football. I know the difference between being hurt and injured. And the thing becomes, why would a player want to sit out when he's not really hurt? He's not really out the game. Why would he do that? And it dawned on me, if I'm trying to protect myself because I'm not being valued. Just look at it. He was drafted in the second round, which he figured that's where he was going to go. He figured that he wasn't going to go in the first round, but he took it in the second round and immediately put behind Adrian Peterson. And then at the end of the season, they gave him a shot, and he was told he was going to be the guy. They fired that coaching staff. He then comes back, and they make some kind of backhand deal with Jamal Williams. Shout out to Jamal Williams, but they made some kind of deal with Jamal Williams for him to be the starter. And then from there, he's been put back to being a backup again. And so if I'm him and I'm sitting there saying, hey, that's 2 seasons where I've come in, and yes, I know he's had some injuries and stuff, but again, I think he's doing this to preserve himself for when he gets to where he really want to go. But if I had what he had, where I'm being told I'm the backup, or like where I go off against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then this guy comes back healthy, and I'm now back to the bench, yeah, I want out. I don't want to be here. So to me, those signs point to him saying he doesn't want to be here.
What should Hawkinson's contract look like, Rumble? I'm thinking, I don't know what's going to be, but if you're going to do it, I'd like to have a longer deal, maybe a 5-year deal, 4 or 5-year deal. It's probably going to be like $13 million a year. I'm going to assume something like that, just the way that our contracts are coming up. But what do you think it's going to be?
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you. I think it'll be around 13 mil. I think they kind of base it just, off the position of where they were drafted. But I think he wants to be here. And I think these guys want him here. And, what better feeling knowing that you're wanted, and the team that you're drafted is in your backyard. So, yeah, I could see 5-year, 13, 14 mil. I would be okay with that. He immediately is already going to have the number 1 jersey among the Lions faithful. So, kudos to him, man. I think he's going to be the face of that franchise. So kudos to him.
William says, how do you consider 4,700 yards and 37 touchdowns being carried? Jimmy G was literally carried to both NFC championships. Why did guys throw his name around so much? Luke.
Well, this is why you call it being carried. If you watch those games, he was able to do that because they were so concerned with stopping Todd Gurley that the box stayed freaking loaded. And then they had Brandon Cooks to take the top off because guess what? Everybody's up trying to stop Todd Gurley. And when they wasn't up to stop Todd Gurley, he ran wild. So when you look at it, if you look at the stats in and of himself, yeah, the stats look like, oh, he did that damn thing. But I watched them games, all of them. And I watched them because it was a lot of rumors that we could be getting somebody from that team as a coach or maybe a GM, and it was true. So, and plus, I was just a fan of Todd Gurley, so I just happened to watch those games, period. But I'm telling you, don't let those numbers fool you. That success came because they were afraid of Todd Gurley that year. He was running wild. And it's very similar to what Jonathan Taylor did for the Colts, which is why they made that move to go get Matt Ryan.
I want to see Detroit use Swift enough where defenses will allow to scheme for him. I think once you get to the point where it doesn't really matter, I think that's the important part, where you're just I don't care about schemes and all this and stuff. I want to be able to run the football, and the defense can't do anything about it. They know you're going to run it, and then they lose. That's where I think you start winning. That's what's up. Salem says, I love your show, but you need some old-timers on there. That's where Mark Orem and Orem's Forum comes in. And on LNU, we have Herman Moore. We had the great Hansen on there. We're going to have some more guests, a little bit older timers for you. But I just want them to run the football and not be able to be stopped. That's my thing.
If you look at our history, though, right? Look at our history. Go through any era of Lions football history and look at when we won games. We were running the ball first. And for somebody to start going down the road of, well, we had Barry Sanders. I don't care. It still lands to the same fact that we were running the ball first. Hell, we went to an NFC championship game with Eric Kramer. You don't ever hear nobody talk about how great Eric Kramer is, right? You know, you don't hear that. So to me, off rip, you know for a fact that, you know, the running game is our history. That's what we have to do. And so to me, you got to get consistent in it, because when you don't run the ball, and if you look at all the best teams, and this is a hard time for anybody who's watching this sport, from the middle of October on out, watch who wins those games. It'll be the team who leads in rushing. And then go and look at the playoffs. The team who wins the rushing battle will win the game.
Corey says, you guys excited for Hard Knocks? I'm going to say yes. You already know that. I think Rumble is. I know Luke is not. He's not.
No, I'm not.
That type of stuff.
No, I don't need it. I don't. Because think about it, right? Like, think about it. It can only hurt more than it can help.
I want to watch.
Like, you're gonna have people playing up to the camera. Like, come on. You're gonna have if the season don't go the way, if the cuts don't go the way they want it to go, man, it's just gonna be trash. And then again, I don't expect for ratings to be high. Detroit is not a high market, and that's why they really avoided putting us on there, right? That's why they didn't want to do it.
I'm gonna stay up and watch it 10 o'clock at night. I want to see. I love that. I love all things Lions. I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it because it's Lions, but I'm not happy about it.
Well, you need to put a smile when you watch it. Put a smile on there and watch.
This is fair.
How does Hutchinson get 1,000 yards? That's if Jared Goff throws him the ball a lot. I don't know if that's going to happen. I can't. And also, he's got to stay healthy, in all honesty. If I miss your question, just repost it. Don't worry about it. Ali McNeil or Michael Brockers have a better season? I think Ali McNeil has a better season. Luke?
Ali McNeil or Michael Brockers? Yeah, it's got to be Ali McNeil. It has to be Ali McNeil.
What you got, Rumble?
Yeah, I got to go Liam. But Liam is already getting nicknames, and I don't know what they call Brockers.
They call him the guy that wields the hammer of Thor. That's the right.
That's right. That's a long nickname, man.
How long does it take to get Goff to get comfortable at Chark and Williams? Well, it's going to take a little bit for Williams since he's still injured or not practicing. But him and Chark was doing off-season workouts, OTAs, and minicamp. So hopefully it's quicker than slower. Want to see that get better each game. I say it's gonna be quick for Chark and Goff. Not so quick for Williams and Goff because of the injury. And he's probably going to miss a couple games, and then it's going to take a little bit. What do you think, Luke?
I'm going to be that guy. I'm just going to say it. it shouldn't take him and Jameson Williams no damn time. When you moved up to get him, you traded up to get the guy. He's supposed to be this talent. Then he should be the one to do it. I don't. This whole he got to get connection. You got to get connection with average people. This guy wasn't drafted to be average. So when it comes to him, I expect for that connection to be real quick and fast because this guy's supposed to have the speed, route running ability to get open and stuff, and I expect for him to be able to hit that. In terms of Chark, like Mike, you said it best. They had opportunities to work together, and so if you're not familiar with him at this point, and I know it's not game stuff, but if you're not familiar with him at this point, I don't know. To be honest, it don't matter. All the balls are going inside. It's going to Amon-Ra, Reynolds, and TJ Hawkinson. You'll get a few to the outside, but for the most part, they're going to be inside passes. That's where we had it.
This is a really it's not a question. Again, put your questions, do a hashtag Lions, hashtag me, hashtag Luke, hashtag Rumble, whatever, hashtag balls. Whatever gets my attention with the hashtag, that's how I see it. Go deep, whatever you want to put in there. Is Goff a more talented quarterback than Eli Manning? If the answer is yes, he can win us a Super Bowl. I think that, look, I'm on a different case here. I think you need something in Detroit that's a little different than other teams. You see teams out there that has winning, they won Super Bowls of their playoff victories. In Detroit, we haven't done anything. I think we need a Joe Burrow-esque type of guy to come in here. He's got that swag to help us win a Super Bowl or to take it to that next level. A different mentality. Because Stafford was a very talented quarterback. Very talented, and he didn't win a playoff game. So to me, you got to have something extremely talented and swagger. That's what I got. Rumble, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Eli's better than Goff in my opinion, just because it was always the underdog, and I think with Goff, I think he experienced some kind of success by going to the Super Bowl, and we all know how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. But yeah, I think Eli's better, man. He came from a quarterbacking family, him, his brother, his father. So Goff has got to really. I have yet to see him put the team on his back. I need to see that kind of leadership out of him. I need, we saw Eli do it. Eli damn near got thrown to the ground and somehow threw it to Tyree. And that ended up winning them the Super Bowl. So until I see stuff like that from Goff, I put Eli way above him.
It's hard to win a Super Bowl, and to win two of them, it's pretty difficult as well. Against the undefeated Patriots, may I add. And that was what's funny is when that game took place, they played each other in the regular season. Actually, before they played in the Super Bowl, I said, "Woo! They don't want to face the Giants in the Super Bowl because the Giants were almost beat them." I said that's the one team they don't want to face, and then they beat them in the Super Bowl. I think you need a transformative guy. How far can Goff really throw a football? I don't know. I've never seen him throw as far as he can do it. I'm sure pretty far. All quarterbacks generally can throw pretty far. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how many yards. How many yards?
I think the question should be, how accurate is Jared Goff on hitting a person that's in mid stride and in a route? That's the real question, because Tyreek Hill just made a lot of damn noise recently about Patrick Mahomes for not being able to hit him in stride, which I was like, what the hell he talking about? That's cap, right? Like, it's got to be cap. And he's like, no, it's been times where he's like, it looked like that was the play, but I adjusted my speed and came back to the ball to catch it. Well, that's your job. You're a receiver. So to me, it's about, can he hit them in stride and open when they are open? Because even in that game against the 49ers last year, Amon-Ra St. Brown was wide open with a chance to score, and he missed them by at least a wild mile. So it's more of an accuracy thing than how far.
Josh Rosen just signed a deal with the Cleveland Browns. That's interesting there. So he's off the market for a backup quarterback. Lions, what are the chances the Packers end up being a hot mess like ketchup bottle in the trunk of a hot car? I give that pretty low.
I see what he did there. They be trying to get you to incriminate yourself on here. I don't know what you're talking about with no ketchup and no hot trunk, but I can assure you that I am not even a fan of ketchup. I can tell you that. But the chances of it happening are slim to none.
So yeah, very, very slim to very much none. No doubt about that there. Bold prediction, 4 players, 700 yards receiving. DJ, Brown, Hawk, and Cephas, 400 to 500. That's a bold prediction, John Kapler. That's a bold prediction.
That is a damn bold prediction. Because at that point, you talking about having a yeah. If Jameson, let's see, Jameson, J-Mo, and Hot, Cephas, that's a hell of a bold prediction.
Very bold prediction. Very bold. Panel, should the Lions prioritize Amani Oruwariye when it comes to a contract? Yes.
Yes.
I agree. Yes.
I want full explanations on this one because he's underrated. He gets demonized.
And this fan base want him gone. They want him
why.
Gone. It blows my mind, dude. Money, man, we can upgrade from him. What are you talking about? This is a guy you took in a late round who has done nothing but perform. Meanwhile, y'all still hold out hope for a guy we took 3rd overall. It doesn't make sense. And to me, he needs to be re-signed. You re-signed Tracy Walker, and I hate to say this, but I think he's more valuable than Tracy Walker. The cornerbacks are hard to find. If anybody know, we as a Lion fan base should know. Did you see how many people we used at cornerback? Mike played corner, Rumble played corner, I played corner. It was bad. And the only thing consistent at that position was Amani, and he performed. I do not, prioritize him and pay that man.
Yeah, I agree. We don't know where we're going to get out of Kuda. I believe there's some rookies on this team that have played more games than he has, than Okudah has. So we don't know where we're going to get out of him, but we know Amani he's a fighter. He was underrated, and we snatched him. And these dual defensive back geniuses kind of put him in a position and gave him the tools to be successful. We absolutely have to make sure we snag him.
I don't understand the hate for Amani Oruwariye. He's the most consistent player, I think, defensively since he's been here. He's been on the field. He gets better every year. He makes plays. He gets turnovers, and yet he's the one that wants to get thrown to the Wolves. I don't get it. He's been on the field the whole time.
Mike, you know why though? You know the answer is, Mike, and it's an answer that we just don't want to admit, but we gotta say what the truth is. It's because we got Malcolm Rodriguez.
Oh God.
That guy he can play cornerback. He can okay. All right, them interceptions that man got, that was trash. That was a ruse and a joke. And I'm telling you right now, Malcolm Rodriguez, that guy, did you know he played safety? He's not going to have no problem transitioning from linebacker back to safety all the way back to corner, because that's why we should move on from Amani Oruwariye. I'm telling you, it's been in our face the whole time.
I've considered this literally releasing 52 players and just having Malcolm Rodriguez. He's one on offense, and they can jump to defense, then jump to special teams. Super Bowl right there.
I mean, he's the only player that can throw the ball to himself.
Talk about the deep route. He definitely can go deep there. Hey, you don't even need to have Dan Campbell in there. Make him head coach and GM and owner. We're going all in. The Detroit Rodriguez is. So that's what we got going on there. But look, Monty needs to get extended. I don't understand. Yeah, get him extended. Get him under contract. He's a good piece to the Lions defense. He's been consistent. 5th-round pick. And just continues to get better. I assume he'll get better. And you got to understand, too, he was playing with bad people around him. So he was in the worst position. He's going against the best. He had Will Harris was his safety. Okay? Enough said. I mean,
don't get me started on that train. That was, I remember the Will Harris hype. Man, I'm telling you, he's going to be knocking him out. Will Harris got my channel banned.
Will Harris got my hairline banned.
Listen, I was showing Will Harris footage. Trying to figure out what the heck were we doing taking him. And they shut me down for 90 days. I was like, well, that happened. Like, dude, And I walked away unimpressed and confused. I was like, okay, now
Oh my goodness.
in a minute they're gonna switch it. Pay attention, Mike. They're gonna switch it from Malcolm. It's gonna be all about Kirby Joseph next. Watch.
I like Malcolm Rodriguez. I just don't like him to be the All-Pro this year and Super Bowl winner and all that type of stuff. Hall of Famer. It just the expectations insane. Hashtag FGB. Thank you for that hashtag. Listening to Dose of Dion today and kind of on the fence about Goff. I think he's a very good play-action quarterback. If you're a Goff hater or a Goff truther, you're on a fence like me, you kind of like that, he's got this year to figure it out. There's going to be no excuses. He's either going to rise to it or he's going to fall down. But I don't want to hear excuses. Well, he didn't have the weapons. I've heard that for years and years and years. We have the weapons this year. We have an offensive line. We have great wide receivers. We got some running backs. We got a tight end. We got a cannibal for a head coach and a young Ben Johnson at OC. He's got to perform this year. If he performs, that's fantastic for the Detroit Lions. If he doesn't perform, welcome to the NFL draft. I'm on the fence. I'm like that. I'm not a hater. I'm not a truther. I'm not thinking this guy is the next Joe Montana or Tom Brady. I also don't think he's the worst quarterback, Drew Lock type of guy. But what do you think about this Jared Goff thing, Luke? I haven't really heard your thoughts on him.
I waved the white flag on him at week 3. I was out. I defended him all the way up until the point of saying let him take snaps, and I have a hard time for a person to convince me that he was told to throw the ball 5 yards or less. I do not believe that was the case. I will not believe that was the case. And in my opinion, I think he was just trying to play safe to prove his worth. And I don't like players who play scared. And so as far as I'm concerned, for all the people who talk about how much better he got down the road and the play calling and all, it always correlated with one thing in particular, which was them running the ball, them actually trying to get the ball going on the ground. And so that's the formula for him to succeed, which is running the ball. And that falls on coaches to make him better. But for me, Jared Goff, in and of himself, is not a force multiplier. He's not going to carry a franchise in and of himself. And I'm not knocking him for it because, like I said, we've been to an NFC Championship game with Eric Kramer, right? So can he be better than Eric Kramer? Yes. But I'm just not here to act like we did some type of good to ourselves moving on from Stafford and bringing this guy in.
Huge shout out to Roger Gawardo, my guy there, $1.99 super chat. He says hashtag FGB. Absolutely. And I had a Packer fan, I think it was last week. He was all mad. He did a giant comment about how this, that, and the other about Lions fans, and he didn't like my hashtag FGB. So show him some love with hashtag FGB because we continue to do it. I don't care. I can't stand the Packers, man. That's one thing that we have in common with the Chicago Bears fans and Vikings fans. But look, people in the comment section, I see that you're going to be mad at certain people that are on here. You're going to disagree, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what we say. It matters what happens on the field. This is our opinion. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You're going to agree, you're going to disagree, but we have fun while doing it. Mike, I could see you racing horses like Rich Strike, so you hoping and down the horse would be funny. Man, I can't race no horse. I am not a horse racer. I rode on a horse when I was in the Bahamas last year, and it was scary. It was scary. I didn't do. They were looking at me like I didn't know what I was doing, and they were correct. I didn't know what I was doing. So, I don't know about you. Are you prepared to draft a quarterback or give me Lamar Jackson if the Ravens don't sign him? Okay, we're gonna do a situation here. The Lions go 6 wins, 7 wins. Jared Goff not look great. Do you draft the quarterback? We got 2 first-round draft picks in 2023. Or if the Ravens do not sign Lamar Jackson, do you take a run at him, Rumble?
Ah, man. Whew. Yep. I will take a run at Lamar Jackson. And then if we don't get him, clearly we have to draft a QB at this point. I think the leadership, I think they were just kind of baiting again, we keep hearing a bridge quarterback. I think they were kind of they were kind of just putting somebody there with a little bit of experience, I guess, while they drafted and kind of cleared the books um, for a free agent period or a free agent of Lamar Jackson's magnitude. So yeah, I'm with Raw on this one, man. You have to prepare for the future. If Goff does not perform, hey, we're drafting, and if Ravens don't sign Lamar, then by all means go in there. I think we have the coaching staff who can kind of wheel him in, so to speak. So yeah, man, I'm with Raw on that one.
Smash that like button. Let's get to 75 likes so we can hear what Luke's about to say on this one. I'm sure it's not going to be controversial at all. Luke, what do you say about this?
Come on with it, Luke.
I mean, listen, draft a quarterback, yes. Lamar, no way. I'm not touching Lamar under no stress. Lamar think he already arrived. He thinks he's already a perennial quarterback in this league. Lamar is going to be a guy who is no different than Jared Goff, other than the fact that he can run. If you watch Lamar Jackson when he had that amazing season, they ran the ball to high heaven with Mark Ingram, Gus Edwards, and I'm forgetting the other running back's name. I'm drawing a blank on the dude from Ohio State name. Dobbins. They ran the ball to death with those running backs, and then that opened up a lot more things, and then he would take off and run. So they had that going. But the minute you looked up and you saw that they shut down the run game, Lamar Jackson was null and void. And the running that he was doing didn't matter because they didn't care. He had to throw the ball in the air. If the Lions would not be interested in Lamar, the cost for Lamar would be too much. And I don't feel like spending money on a person who think he's already arrived.
Let me know in the comment section right now. Put L for Lamar or put D for draft. Whether you draft a quarterback early, there's a lot of quarterbacks in this year's draft. This is a big quarterback draft. This is not like last year. This is about the year before where it could be 1, 2, 3 in the NFL draft. So let me know what you guys think in there. That's if Jared Goff doesn't do good. So the Goff truthers out there, I'm saying if he doesn't do good. I know you'll get very upset if I say, well, they're not taking a quarterback. He's the franchise guy. Hashtag FGB. What quarterback could have won 9 games with the last year's roster? I know this is going to be completely different answers here. Rumble, what quarterback do you think could won with last year's roster?
Maybe. Oh my gosh. Oh no, we play at a dome. I'll go Brady. We play inside a dome. I think he would have been able to not at least throw the ball to wide open receivers. So I'll go Brady.
I'm gonna go with nobody. I know this is gonna be different from Luke's answer, but this offense was, our wide receivers were so bad, and then the offensive line got savaged. I don't think anybody could have been successful, in all honesty. Luke, different answer.
The guy we got rid of, Stafford. Stafford would have got you those 9 wins. Stafford would have been willing to sit in the pocket and throw. Stafford would have beat the 49ers. He wouldn't have been sitting up there seeing ghosts because people was farting loudly because they had burritos the night before. He wouldn't have had that problem, right? Like that's the guy that would have did it. I've seen Stafford win with less. He did it in the Super Bowl. They literally knew who he was going to throw the ball to, and they still couldn't do it. He's throwing no-look passes and all type of stuff. They couldn't run the ball. There was no threat of a run game, and all of his receivers that he would typically go to was not there for him. Odell hurt, Jefferson dropping him, and you only had the one target. Stafford would have won those games. I'll even give you another person. I'll throw another person there, and this going to be the controversial one that people are not going to like. But Cook could have won with that roster. Why? Because you see it all the time where these people are being able to do more with less. Tom Brady's an easy guess, but I mean, but to be honest, it's the guy that we let go. He would have won with that roster.
Okay. Now we have the roster on defense of 2014 were ranked 2, and we had the 2011 offense for the Detroit Lions, and last year we had our special teams offense, all combined, so all really good. How many wins would Matt Patricia Give that team
Good
6.
grief. We'd have been 0-16 again.
Egos.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Egos.
man. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you guys don't know how bad the dislike for Patricia is with Luke. I remember when he was during the season, I talked to him all the time, and we could not stand this guy. It was so bad.
It was listen, I was getting so frustrated because all I kept hearing is, "You come on, man, you got to give him 3 years." I said, "For what? For what? I've seen enough." He's not even creating competition. He was giving jobs to former Patriots players. No reason to do this. You just gonna bench Glover Quinn for Tavon Wilson? Really? Why? No, I had seen enough. Seen enough.
Traded
Now,
that's
this
just
wasn't
James
good enough.
Simon.
Diggs for Will Harris to be the backup. I remember saying Will Harris is going to step up, and I said, this was a huge mistake.
What did we
Huge.
pay Jesse James again? We gave Jesse James a massive free agent contract, and we're still paying
did
him.
nothing. You did nothing here. Didn't he get like 3
make no
receptions? That was atrocious, man. Luke, if Amon-Ra became a star this year or next, does he stay with the Lions when his contract is up?
Yes, because at that point he would be getting the ball. He would be getting the ball. He would be getting fed the ball. And one thing about Amon-Ra St. Brown is he's loyal, right? He's loyal to a fault. But that loyalty comes with him being able to get the ball. Now, if you're not giving him the ball, then he's gone. But as long as he's getting the ball, yes, he will stay around.
Tim Boyle would be the best backup quarterback for the Toronto Argos. I think that Tim Boyle right now should be the starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions. I think he's the best quarterback to ever don a Lions uniform. What do you think? I'm joking, by the way, if you're new to the channel.
Right, yeah, somebody going to be like, Mike has lost his mind. They're going to snip that clip and you're going to be running with
down.
that.
I
Yeah.
got a real question, though. Does he make the team? Does he make the 53?
He shouldn't. Because if you think about it, you carrying these 3 quarterbacks for what? Release them, right? And let him go about his day. The problem is, I think they fear releasing him that he may go back to Green Bay, and now Green Bay knows what we got going on over here. But in my opinion, release him, because that's a spot you're taking up for us to get another linebacker. That's a spot you're taking up for us to get another corner or another safety that you're taking up, or another D lineman, because he's not what you are building him out to be. It's bad when he comes in, you see no improvement, and then David Blau comes in and you're like, well, I see a little bit more life than what I saw. So yeah, he shouldn't be, but he'll probably make the team.
Am I too hard on him? I get told this a lot because I rag on him, but I think you got to have someone that Jared Goff goes down, we're done. We're not winning a game. I think he's that bad.
No, you're not too hard on him. When this fan base starts having better expectations, we'll get better. If you go to Morton's, are you expecting to get microwave food? Nope. If you go to Capitol Hill, are you expecting to go in there and get tacos? No. When you go somewhere that has a certain standard to it, your expectations goes up. Now, if I mess around and go to Golden Corral, then I expect for it to be pretty much what it is, all frozen microwave food. But no, your expectations are high, and they should be. And the rest of the fan base should have higher expectations. And it's one of the reasons why I'm so clear about what my expectations are for our rookies. And so, no, you're not hard on him. You've seen the sample size. The sample size told you what he was, and you don't like the way it looked. You don't like that coffee, and I think that's fair.
So I think we have to win. I think it's really important. This is not, it's okay to lose this year, in my opinion. It's not okay to lose. I think we need to win, start winning football games. Everyone, look, it's another year of a rebuild. I get it, but the way to change a culture is win. Okay, you got to win, and I think you have to have the best 53/55 man roster. And if you're not the best on there, I don't care what position group you are. If you're cheeks, you need to go. Like, we need to get a better roster rumble. Am I wrong on this? Like, we have to win.
No. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I mean, Dan Campbell last year inserted like this, this energy in us last year, and we were like captivated by just what he was able to do and how these guys played with, all the injuries and whatnot. But absolutely, this year we have to see more than 3 wins. I agree with both of you. We have to see more than 3 wins. Now, is he going to be on a chopping block again? It depends how we lose those games. If it's because of injuries again, okay. But if it's because of just the draft picks, them not getting it, and it's him making bonehead calls, then obviously we have to look at that and go, okay, well, clearly you're not the person that we thought you were, and move from there. But I think we're still kind of, man, we're just hoping, we're excited for this regime. And let's see what they do, man. Let's see what they put together.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I wanted to make this point because you said something that I just thought about. You said if it's because of injuries, then you don't, you ain't gonna hold that against Dan Campbell. But I'm damn sure gonna hold it against the general manager, because you cannot do this. You cannot know that you have a team full of injuries, then go out and draft a bunch of injured players, and then want me to use injuries as the excuse. So at that point, you're now putting yourself on the hot seat for taking players who ain't on the field. So if it's not Dan Campbell, fair. Somebody head gonna roll, and I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I got people who won't stand by. I believe that the reason Spielman is here is because he's learning the job as he's here, and then you got Dorsey who's here, who's already been at the job. I hate to break the news to people, but if the excuse is, oh, it's because players are hurt, well, he brought these people here, and at that point,
the importance of depth.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Yeah. Why I said Evan Brown to me was the most underrated pick free agency, because he can play for Frank Ragnow, and it's not that big of a deal. You have to plan for injuries. That's why if Jared Goff goes down, you had an opportunity to upgrade the backup positions. You decided not to do that. Now, you lose your starting quarterback, obviously the play is going to go down, but if you look at the Arizona Cardinals, they got Colt McCoy. He can hold the fort down and get a couple wins for you if Murray's out for 5-6 games. If Jared Goff goes down 5-6 games, do you want to know how many wins we're going to get? 0.
Again, Andrews cannot be the excuse.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but also we have to look at the fact that they balanced the books. Like we were paying people for not even playing a full season or a game, and I think that's still where we're at right now. So if we can get Okudah back healthy, and like you guys say, if the injuries are not the reason we lose this year, then yeah, you absolutely have to look at, you have to look at Dan Campbell and some of these other pieces that we brought in. But I still think it's too early to just go up. You're fired. There's no way. I mean, you overhauled your roster. We got exceptionally younger. Again, you got to be with this schedule. You got to do better than 3 wins.
Got to get
There's no way.
There's no way you can't do it with the schedule, and the roster is upgraded. You have to get to at least 7 wins, in my opinion. I mean, that's at least. I'm saying you got to get to 7 wins. You do. If we start doing Matt Patricia numbers here, there's going to be a question mark what's going on, because
it has to be.
They're with the schedule, with the roster. This is year 2. Okay, the excuses got to stop at this point. Now you got to start showing something. I've seen a lot in Dan Campbell, though. I do like it's way better what I seen from Matt Patricia. The minute I seen, I knew he was a failure as soon as we hired this guy. It's not the same with Dan Campbell.
Facts.
But plus, again, we're not trying to make this seem like it's the worst thing ever, where it's like, oh, you got to just be so down on these people. But it's saying there's a standard. And to me, I'm not even accepting 7 wins, Mike, because to me, 7 wins don't put you in the mix. 8 wins, at least you have a chance to be in the mix for a playoff spot. And if you're not in the mix for a playoff spot, that's not an improvement to me. I got some people who believe getting 3 more wins is an improvement. 6 wins is an improvement. That's a joke. That's an absolute joke. The only time that matters is we're talking about some, certain genitalia getting 6 inches added on. And at that point, it still don't, I'm just making the purpose of it, saying that you can't keep having low standards because you're afraid of getting let down. Change your standards and demand more. That's why when you see certain things happening at other franchises, it's because their fan base ain't having it. They will make it known to their leadership and their organization's owner that I'm not having it. And that's what we need to start doing.
And folks, we're not saying I do not believe they're going to go 3 wins this year. By the way,
Me neither.
do not believe it. I think they are going to get to, they're going to start to show that this is a much improved team. I think the roster, it's year 2. I think it's going to be much improved. So this, if it was to go south, you have to look at it because come on, it's the schedule here. It's everything. These guys they got to put some wins. Dan Campbell knows this. I think they are. If you look at the end of the year, they're starting to be more competitive all around, and I just think it's easier schedule, better roster, second year with the coaches, not a whole lot of, we're not getting new this, new that, new, something new this offseason, so I think it's going to be much improved. Which rookie contributes the most this year, and why, and when? Ooh, Rumble. Who do you got?
Ooh. Oh, Hutchinson. That's the easy answer for me. And I think immediately. I think the first game at Ford Field against the Eagles, I think he goes in there. I think we got that game circled on our calendar as a team as a whole because it's the coming out party for this new regime for the Lions, for the young guns. So I look forward to seeing it, man. I really do. I think the Eagles they're a great team, but I don't think teams have really gotten the full Lion regime. Now they're much more comfortable second year in. They got to kind of start earlier, and they've got this scheme now where they want to attack. So I think we're in for a special treat come that first home game.
I already know who Luke's going to say. Rookie standout.
No, you don't. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see, Mike. Let's see. I'm gonna be honest if you nail it. Let's see.
I'm gonna start. You already know it's Ralcom Brabrebez.
I mean, why not, right? Why not? I mean, this guy right here can bench press 2 wash machines in a dryer. I mean, he's impressive, right?
I heard he won the Masters.
I heard he won.
He won the Masters while sleeping. He beat up Chuck Norris in his dreams.
I heard he stole the job from the most interesting man in the world. I mean, that's how dope he is. So, but no, the truth is for me, if the question was who should contribute the most this year and why and when, I can answer it better. But because he asked the flat question of which rookie, I don't think there is going to be somebody who can contribute the most. Pascal, when the hell is he going to be ready? Right? He's hurt, right? That tight end pick, I hate that to high heaven. Do not like them James Mitchell pick. Everybody's trying to fall in line with Rodriguez. He'll be on special teams along with Houston. And the cornerback we took with the last pick, I'll be surprised if he makes the team. So at this point, you can't say Jameson Williams because by the time he gets in, we halfway through the season, it feels like. And then it should be Hutchinson. But the word wasn't should. So for me, I don't have a player that I think is going to contribute like that. I think we're going to see some growing pains. But who it should be those first 4 players that we took in the top 100 that should be contributing to this team. That means Kirby and Pascal and Williams and Hutchinson, and that's who it should be.
It's gonna be Aidan Hutchinson. It's got to be Aidan Hutchinson. It's got to be. Second pick in the draft. You got to go out there and get 10-plus sacks. We're about to be live on LNU, so about to close this one out, but it's going to send you right to LNU so we can continue this conversation, and we're going to have another guest on from Roar of the Lions UK. See you in a couple of minutes.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna